This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden's stalled Build Back Better Act is casting a pall over Democratic leaders and activists who worry that the blown opportunity will cost them in next year's midterm elections. Seth MacLachlan and Harris Alec report most of the frustration is directed at West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin and Senate Republicans. Also simmering is an angst that the president's inability to push the bill over the finish line fosters doubts among voters who put him in the White House and handed Democrats narrow majorities in Congress. Manchin is awash in renewed speculation about his future as a Democrat after saying he wouldn't support Build Back Better as it's currently constructed. Republicans have long tried to court Manchin to their side, which would give them a 51-49 advantage in the upper chamber were he to switch. Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn said that he'd privately broached the topic of a party switch directly with Manchin in a phone call. The switch wouldn't be the first by a Mountain State politician. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice ran and won as a Democrat in 2016 before switching his affiliation to the Republican Party in 2017. The Secret Service says the government has handed out nearly $100 billion in bogus claims for COVID-19 pandemic benefits as it announced a national coordinator to oversee its investigative efforts. Stephen Dinan reports the agency said its early focus on policing protective equipment fraud is giving way now to investigations into the trillions of dollars Congress has allocated for relief. The Secret Service says more than 900 criminal investigations are active. So far, it's seized more than $1.2 billion in fraudulent payments and reversed more than $2.3 billion in automatic payments. The global semiconductor shortage is showing no signs of slowing heading into 2022, and Jeff Murdoch reports the Biden administration's proposed solution remains years away. The president and his cabinet have urged Congress to pass legislation that would invest $52 billion to increase U.S. semiconductor chip production. The bill, known as the Chips for America Act, passed the Senate in July with bipartisan support, but stalled in the House. Even if Congress does act urgently, analysts say the legislation is no quick fix. By the time U.S. semiconductor chip manufacturing can get up to speed, the crisis will have long passed. It costs 30% more to make a chip in the United States than in Asia, according to a 2020 report by the Semiconductor Industry Association. That could add $10 to $40 billion to production expenses. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. If you don't have access to the Times yet, you can visit WashingtonTimes.com/George for a special subscription offer. The Pentagon's Indo-Pacific Command recently unveiled a software application that military officials say will monitor Chinese military anger at U.S. activities in the region in a bid to reduce tensions. Bill Gertz reports the software tool is designed to systematically gauge Chinese military reactions to U.S. actions in the region. That includes arms sales to Taiwan, naval and aerial maneuvers in disputed maritime zones, and congressional visits. Some analysts warn the application represents a step back toward U.S. policies to appease China. An Indo-Pacific Command official said the tool will be used to avoid inadvertently provoking a conflict with China. And finally, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and some of his administration's top officials have moved to take control of the Sunshine State's pension portfolio from private asset managers that invest heavily in China. James Varney reports Florida Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Patronis and Attorney General Ashley Moody joined DeSantis in a motion to revoke all proxy voting authority that has been given to outside fund managers. The state officials said they need to ensure that fund managers act solely in the financial interest of the state's funds. Florida took action after Consumers Research, a conservative watchdog group, launched a campaign accusing investment giant BlackRock of close ties with China. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us on all of your favorite podcast platforms just by searching Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.